Okay, I'm starting with a new module called costing. Hello, 49 and 50. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Krishna.
Good morning, all of you. Okay. For costing, I'm maintaining a separate document team for costing. Let me show you that. When multiple tabs, it's confusing me. Okay, I'm good now. So separate doc folder is available for the costing. And it's here. And the configurations also. For costing setups also separate document I have. So totally around how many setups you'll see here in this list? 11 setups. Okay. So configurations are less only. It will not take much time. Probably it will take 1 hour to create all these configurations. Okay. And first of all, the costing module is used to create the cost for our items. So for everybody understanding, I'll just explain like this: inventory valuation. Inventory valuation. So currently we are talking about our items. Okay, our item is having so and so quantity and all. Okay, so this is about quantity. What about value? Okay, when you define a cost for that item, suppose if this is the item. When you define a cost for that item, suppose in the costing model you define the cost of this item as some 2 rupees or $2 or $2. So this cost into the quantity. The cost into quantity is nothing but this item value. And that will be displayed in your inventory valuation report. The stock value, inventory valuation. Okay. So after defining the cost of this item, you're able to see the value of this item in the inventory valuation. So not only this, there are a lot of other reasons also there where we use the costing module. So this is just one example for the beginners and freshers also to understand. Okay. And compared to this costing model, if you compare with EBS, lot has been changed here. Okay, we will see that down the line. What are the differences between EBS to the Fusion? In case of EBS and in case of Fusion, when defining the inventory org, let's take you defined Hyderabad or Bangalore inventory ordinations. While defining the inventory ordination itself, you are going to attach the cost method. So first of all, what is meant by cost method? Cost methods. I will just explain you standard and average. What is standard and average? What is standard and average? Okay, standard is the cost of the item we define in the application. We define the cost. We define the cost of the items. We're going to manually define. We're going to specify, hey, this item cost is so and so, this item cost is so and so. We define the cost. But in case of average costing, we don't define. It's average. It will take the average. It will take the average. There is a formula. There is a formula. Based on the formula, based on the formula, automatically item cost generated and regularly updated also. Item cost regularly get updated. But here in case of standard cost, you are defining, if you go and manually update, then only update is going to happen. But in case of average cost, not like that. Automatically, the update is going to happen according to that formula. Okay. And which cost method the company is following, the company is using for these inventory ordinations, which cost method? Sir, which cases the business is going to use standard costing and which cases the business is going to use the average costing? It's a very, very important understanding. Everyone please concentrate. PPV. The PPV is going to decide which costing method to be used by the client. So in case of standard cost, I'm talking about standard cost case. In case of standard cost, for this item, you defined the cost as some 100 rupees. You define the cost as 100 rupees. And you define this cost maybe in 2020. And today you are purchasing this item. You are placing a purchase order today, okay, for the same item. But your purchasing price today is 140. Today, your purchase price is 140. What is the difference between the item cost and your PO price?
40.
40 rupees.
Purchase price variance here, PPV is how much? 40. So in case of standard costing method, your PPV is always more. This is always more. So if you want your PPV to be less, then you have to manually update this cost very frequently. Very frequently. Suppose let us take you created this cost on so and so date, but you have updated this cost. This item cost you have updated to 120, you have updated in 2023 itself. You have updated January 2023 itself. But you are purchasing this item in March after 3 months. The cost is 140, or maybe it could be 160 also, correct? It could be 160 also, or it could be 200 also. Then what is the PPV here? 80. So when you are following the standard costing method, always your PPV can be more. So if you don't want your PPV to be this much difference, then the clients prefer to go with the average costing method, average. This is in case of standard. So this is in case of average. This is in case of average. What will happen in case of average? Average, based on your PO price, automatically your cost will be updated. It's not like standard costing method. In the case of standard costing method, you are manually creating, you're manually updating it. But in case of average cost, it will automatically update it based on your purchase price. Based on your PO price, the item cost automatically every time it keep on updating. Okay, suppose let us take the same example itself. Okay. So the average cost of the item is updated maybe Feb 2023. After that, you placed this purchase order. After that, you place this purchase order. So you are purchasing here for 200 rupees, right? on 13th March, automatically based on this PO price, this item cost will be updated. Automatically it will be updated. So will it update to 200? Will it update to 200?
Maybe not.
No, it will take the average. It will take the average. It will take average of your stock, the current stock. The current stock in the sense, this is, suppose you're on hand, the same item on hand, 100 quantity, you purchase it for 120, and another 100, another 50 quantity you purchased for 150, right? And another 20 quantity you purchased for 200. Understood? Your current on hand you purchased with different prices. Okay, it will take the average. It will take the average based on your stock value, the quantity that you purchased. It will take the average and it will fix the average price here.
So it will take the weighted average, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So based on these scenarios, I think the average cost is a better reflection of profit and loss.
Correct. Correct. So in case of average costing, always you are closer to the actual cost. Always. Okay. And in this case, the PPV is also less. The purchase price variance is also less, because suppose let's take today automatically the average got calculated. Let's take it is 180. Let us take this is 180. Now you are placing a purchase order tomorrow. Let's take for this item. You are placing a purchase order tomorrow. So current average is 180. Tomorrow you are purchasing for, let's take 200 itself. So almost 20 is the difference. So almost this is the latest cost, right? This is the latest cost that is being compared here, and then the PPV here is how much? 20 rupees.
20.
Understood? In which cases the client goes with the standard costing, in which cases client go with the average costing. Understood? Because average cost to keep on updating the item cost, and since it is keep on updating the item cost, always your PPV is less, and it always closer to the your current market prices. Okay. Good. Beginners, you are good.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, coach.
Okay. So in my current project, which I'm working on, initially we implemented standard costing method. Initially, the client also asked for standard costing only, but they see PPV because we don't update the item cost manually. We don't update very frequently. If you don't update frequently, always your PP will be at the higher side. Okay, so here I will also tell you one more example here. So today you purchased this is for 200, right? Okay, what is your item cost? It is showing how much? 110 only. The latest cost is. This is the previous cost and this is the latest cost, right?
Yes.
Okay, suppose let us take this is let's take an example. This is processor. Okay, processor you are purchasing for 120 rupees. I mean cost. When you are manufacturing, let's take a laptop. You are manufacturing a laptop. How the laptop cost is derived in the application? Laptop is a finished good, right? How you calculate the laptop cost? You calculate what is the RAM cost, correct? You calculate what is the processor cost. You calculate what is the processor cost, and you calculate the remaining like hard disk and all. Okay. Suppose here you purchase this processor for how much? 200. Okay, but here the system will take the current item cost only. Current item cost is how much? 120 only. But you purchased the processor from Intel company for 200. but it will take which cost? The current item cost only. So your finished good cost is almost automatically getting less here, right?
Yes.
So if your finished good cost is less here, if it is less here, then your profit is also less. Because what we do, suppose if this finished good cost is, let us take some 15,000 or 20,000. Okay, what you do, you add some profit to it. You add some profit to it. Let's take you have added profit of 5,000. Okay, so this will become your selling price. This will become your selling price to the customer. Correct? So here the finished good, the laptop cost is here less because of your component cost is showing less here. Your component cost is showing less here. Your finished good cost is also less here. Because of that, it is impacting your revenue also.
Yes.
Correct? So because of this, our client asked to change the cost method from standard to average. It's a big process actually, but we did that. It's a big process. Almost it took 2 months time for this big change. So first of all, you people clear with the standard costing and average costing, right?
Yes.
Okay, and in which
Yes.
cases it's up to the client decision. Okay, but you can suggest to the client, but it's always better to suggest to the client, because later on, if the client sees this much difference in case of PPV or in case of your finished good cost, if the client is seeing some difference, if they may be nervous by seeing these financials information. Okay, so it's always better to suggest the client also. If you go with the standard method, this is what happens. If you go with the average method, this is what happens. You can suggest them. Okay, my personal suggestion is all the purchase items, you go with the average. And all the finished good items or semi-finished good items, the items that you are making, nothing but simply make items, you go with the standard. You can go with the standard, because in case of make items, the cost is automatically calculated based on your component cost, because this is a make item. Laptop is a make item. But this laptop cost automatically calculated based on your component cost. Not only component cost, not only raw material cost, it also add the resources cost also, any other overheads also, because how many people are used here to assemble that laptop. These are all components, and this has to be assembled. What machinery that you have used? What is the charge for that machinery for 1 hour? How many people you used? How many labor? What is the each labor cost per 1 hour? So resource cost also comes into the picture. Not only component cost, resource cost also comes into the picture, and any other overheads also, and any other wastage. You have to consider the wastage also, correct?
Yes.
So during this manufacturing process, there could be wastage. The wastage also you have to consider into the laptop cost. That is your original cost. That is your original making cost. If you don't consider the wastage here into this, then you'll be in losses, because wastage you cannot bear, right? Do you bear the wastage? No. Okay. Now, so which costing method has to be followed? In case of EBS, let's take example. Every inventory org level, we link the costing method in case of EBS. But in Fusion, we create a separate cost org. Like inventory org, we create a separate cost organization. We create a separate cost organization. Under that cost organization, we are going to select the cost method. Okay. Under that cost organization, we'll add all the inventory organizations. Understood? So Hyderabad inventory ordination, Bangalore inventory ordination are added under which cost ordination? Standard cost ordination. So these two ordinations are going to follow which costing method? Standard costing method. Suppose in future, there are few more inventory ordinations you created. Let's take New York or let's take California. Maybe it's not a good example to explain like this. Okay, Chennai, Pune, okay, or Delhi. All these inventory ordinations you can add under this cost ordination. Okay, suppose let us take this example. These three inventory ordinations you want to follow average. You create another cost ordination, and this cost ordination you can select average here. So these two are standard and these three are average.
So if these two orgs like Hyderabad and Chennai, if they carry the same item, in this case,
Yes.
one will be using the standard for the same
Yes.
item versus
Correct.
okay.
Yeah. So let us take this is the item. When you're placing a purchase order, okay, you'll select the org, right? You'll select the delivery org, correct? So if you select the delivery org as Hyderabad, then it will follow which costing method? Standard. Okay. If you select Pune, it will follow which costing method? Average. Understood? So the costing is derived by the org that you are selecting in the PO. So in case of make item, when you are creating a work order, the work order you are creating under which ordination? The work order you are creating under which ordination? You are creating under Hyderabad, it will follow standard. You are creating under Chennai, it will follow average. Okay, good.
Yes.
And here, I'll come to some googlies here. I'm talking about the cost method. The cost method here, we are controlling at basically org level, correct? Ordination level only, correct? But you can also control the cost method at the item level also. This is the beauty in Fusion. Item level also, not only org level, item level also. For one item, you can follow standard. For another item, you can follow average. Understood? Item level. This is also possible. And category level also possible.
Right, which is a better best practice, org level or item level?
Org level only. I mean, you can mostly 95% of the clients they go with org level. Item level I implemented for South Korea. For South Korea country, I implemented item level.
So if I do a transfer of an item from Hyderabad to Chennai, it's gonna go in as a
Yes.
It's gonna change the average when it goes to Chennai.
Correct. Okay.
So the
Item
lowest level is?
It's not possible to have all the three, sir. Either one. Either one. Okay. Either org level planning or item level planning or category level planning. You cannot say my first preference org level or item level or category level. You cannot say like that. Okay. So all finished goods, you follow standard, and all this is category. Let's take you create a category called finished good category. Finished good category. Okay. And all raw material you follow average costing. This RM is a category. So org level, item level, and category level. But either one, you can follow either one only. Okay. Currently in our project, we are following this. And in all my last implementations, except the South Korea implementation, we used org level.